Thank you. Mojo. If you've got it, you know it. If you don't, you want it. And there's lots of different kinds of mojo. There's relationship mojo, health mojo. I'm talking about career mojo. And for the last 20 years, it's been my primary work to help talented, motivated professionals to get their career mojo going and flowing. I've also made it a priority to practice what I preach. And so I've had a front row seat to see what works. And I want to share some of my favorite strategies with you. The first is to have a vision. I'm continually surprised by how many of us don't take the time to do a vision. And when I ask people why they haven't done a vision, they say because they're not sure how to do it, they don't know what to put into it, and they're not sure it would be worth any effort. So here are my thoughts on that. Once a year, I do a vision revision. I throw out my old vision and I start from scratch. If I'm feeling particularly fuzzy, I'll just rip pictures out of a magazine and paste them on a poster board or a ribbon board. If I'm feeling a little more clear, I'll write a letter to myself 10 years in the future, and I'll describe what I hope my life will look like at that time. Regardless of how I put it together, there are always big holes in my vision. But that's okay, because what it contains are points of possibility. These are small little areas that beg to be explored. And kind of like a dot-to-dot picture, those points of possibility create an image. And that leads me to my next recommendation, to work with those points of possibility for career experiments. These are low-risk, short-term activities that expose you to an area that you're thinking about. So for instance, years ago, I had on my vision that I wanted to teach graduate courses in career counseling. So I wanted to teach future career counselors. And it turned out that a former professor was going on sabbatical, and he said, "You could teach my class." So I started teaching his class. And I knew in the first 2 sessions that I never wanted to do that again. But I'm so glad that I had a chance to experiment with it. Another example was on a vision board one time, I had that I wanted to experiment with career videos. And I started with my husband's low-end camera, and now career videos are a main part of my work. Points of possibility and career experiments. Trying new things on a regular basis, just like you're exposed to here. And that brings me to my third point. When you find a point of possibility and you experiment with it and it's something you love, commit to it. Commit to it because that develops expertise. And so many of us want the perks that come with expertise, the 3 Ps. Better pay, better projects, prestige. But to gain that expertise takes studies show 20,000 hours of investment. 20,000 hours of investment to become an expert at something. That works out to be 5 years full-time or longer if you're doing part-time. And it can take many forms. It can be classes that you're taking, it can be practice projects that you do, it can be on the job or work assignments, but it takes about 20,000 hours to become really great at something. But what that lends itself to, when you think about doing something for 20,000 hours, is that it starts to maybe feel a little bit stagnant or boring. And then we run into the problem of not having our career mojo flowing as much as we would want it to be flowing. And that brings me back to where I started. When you've committed to something, become an expert at it, create a new vision every year to identify new points of possibility, to experiment with those, and to find new ways to grow, to keep your career mojo going and flowing. Thank you.
Very good, thanks.